Here we are, and as most of you know, this last series that's coming to an end tonight has been running in tandem with the Saturday morning course that's finishing on Saturday. And the course has been a Metabovener course, and in that course we've been really paying attention to receptivity, what's actually going on, and very gently exploring the cultivation of metta, of loving kindness. Love in the most positive sense, not attachment, but kind of a well-wishing for others' well-being. So yeah, we've been exploring that in our course. And generally when we talk about cultivating metta, cultivating love, loving kindness is perhaps a more accurate translation, we talk about it as something that we have to do. And we do that, for example, by dropping in a phrase, and may I be well, and we see how that feels as a response, something we're cultivating. Tonight we're going to take a different approach altogether. Well, it's not totally different actually, but it might seem totally different. So I've called this Love Beyond Love, and this is going to be about opening up to the possibility of metta being, as it were, already out there, as it were, in the universe in some sense, and being able to receive it and even, as it were, channel it. Quite a different sort of mindset. And I have to give a literalism warning. So talking about this is impossible to do in a way which is completely true. Impossible, because actually ultimately everything is beyond words, everything. But certainly something like this it's not within our ordinary frame of reference. So I'm going to be talking in various ways, and please don't take it totally literally. It's like it's pointing to something in experience. And neither taking it literally in the sense of taking it totally at face value, nor sort of dismissing it in a kind of literal, oh, that can't be the way things are. It's kind of it's a poetic, mythic, very imaginative. I don't like that word entirely. The imagination is involved, but not in the sense of fantasy. There's something higher that we're talking about tonight. That may already sound extremely mysterious, so bear with me. So metta, yeah. So on one level, this is something very sort of ordinary. Loving kindness can manifest in extremely simple, subtle, day-to-day ways that we often don't even notice. Like just doing some very simple, momentary favour for somebody. I give the example sometimes of opening the door for somebody as kindness. Just taking a kindly interest in somebody, just asking them how they are, because you think, oh, I wonder how this person is serving me at the checkout, how they are. Yeah, looking after ourselves in a genuinely caring way. So metta can be entirely unremarkable, and there's the capacity for metta to be something that is totally unconditional and totally boundless. So it has this transcendent capacity as well. So we're going to explore another way in to the Metabovener tonight. And I'd like you to drop, as far as you can, all expectations. So neither expecting this to be a wonderful experience, nor expecting it to be not going to work, as it were. See if you can just open to possibility tonight. So last night, in my little community where I live, Buddhist community where I live, we were watching a documentary, and this documentary, notice I feel slightly nervous saying this because I'm aware it could sound even weirder. This documentary was about near-death experiences, which apparently are not that uncommon. I think it was something like of people who do actually clinically die but then recover, about 8 to 10%, I think it was, it might have been more, it might be wrong, have what we might call a near-death experience. It's remarkable just hearing about some of those, and generally experiences of incredible beauty, bliss, as well as being able to see the body from outside and what was happening and so on. But incredibly blissful experiences and experiences of love, being met by beings. Again, don't take this totally literally, but that's what people were saying, a sense of being met by beings. And it actually changed people when they recovered, back in their body as it were, they recovered, it changed their lives. They just saw life quite differently. The documentary is on Netflix and it's called Surviving Death. This is the first one of the series. So my point is that there's something about consciousness, it seems, that goes beyond our ordinary understanding of things, our sort of modern materialistic understanding of things, and many scientists see it this way as well. And speaking personally, this goes against my own assumptions. I'm sort of kind of brought up with a sort of typical set of assumptions in the modern world that say that, oh, death is probably the end, and it all comes down to matter. And yet, I've heard enough, both from people I know, not near death, but other things, and things I've read, seen, experiences I've had in meditation. I don't think it is like that. But my mind can oscillate between a sort of a conventional materialistic view and something which I actually have got a deeper confidence in, that it's not as simple as that consciousness is something more mysterious. So tonight the challenge is, can we open up, again this is receptivity, to some sense of metta coming from outside. Now this might ring your God alarm bells, if you have such alarm bells. Again, dropping literalism, I'm not suggesting any interpretation of whatever we might experience. It's about being open to experience. Again, the point is to do with consciousness and its nature being not as simple as we might think. And this very much links in, this is a bit tangential, but it's important, I think. This very much links in with some core Buddhist teachings about self and world, or one could say self and universe, not ultimately being separable. Not they're sort of one and the same, but that they cannot ultimately be separated. It's a very core Buddhist teaching, or one way of talking about a very core Buddhist teaching. We have these ideas, me in here, world out there. They're very helpful ideas from a practical point of view. The trouble is we take them totally literally. And Buddhism is saying, no, it's not like that actually. We can't make that clean separation. So there's a sound basis in core Buddhist teaching with what we're talking about tonight. And again, please put aside the metaphysics tonight, and we're just going to concentrate on our experience and explore our experience, which is after all what meditation is about. So I'm going to suggest that we approach this through an image that for us could be unconditional love. And ultimately, I'm going to suggest you take up your own image, find your own image. But of course, there are some ones here. There's the Buddha. The Buddha for you might hold something of that quality of unconditional, boundless love. I'm going to show another one, and I'm aware I'm repeating something I did a few months ago on meditation night. And I'm going to show you an image of Tara. So this is Tara is a very well-known figure from the Buddhist tradition. And as you see, she's depicted as in human form. She's green in this form, and one hand raised in a kind of reassuring gesture, the other hand sort of giving, and one foot, not so obvious in this image, gently stepping down to help others. So there's Tara. And Tara is a figure that embodies, if you like, compassion and love, metta. That's her sort of quintessential quality. However, she's not really green with 4 arms and 4 legs, female. That's just the way we depict what Tara is. Tara is actually something much less pin-downable than that. But this is the way she's conventionally depicted. I say she as a convention. So again, the same point, there's something much more mysterious that this image can open up for us. I'll just hold her up again for another moment. So, what we're going to do in a moment, I'm just going to have a drink. I'm not like Dharmanata, I just have water. Not much of a subject for conversation, I'm afraid. What we're going to do is, we're going to do the Metabovener. We're going to start as we usually do with a body scan. And after that, I'm going to invite you to bring an image to mind. An image that for you carries a sense of, a love, loving kindness, metta, compassion if you like. And it could be Tara, it could be the Buddha, it could be something, it could be another figure, not necessarily a Buddhist figure even. It could be something that's less personal. I think a personal image is good, but it doesn't have to be. It could be an image of a sun or a flower or a heart, even just a sort of a presence. In fact, I think that's probably more important than getting a clear visual image, having a sense of a presence. And that could be above you, it could be all around you, it could be behind you, in front of you, whatever comes naturally. But this image, figure, presence is unconditional love. And we're going to open to it, allow ourselves to receive that, and then we're going to bring others in relation to it in the practice. So in a sense, we become, this is one angle you could bring in, we become a channel for that unconditional love. Maybe through our heart can be a channel for that going out to others. And again, not thinking about exactly what is going on, not trying to interpret what's happening. You may or may not connect with this, but do open up to it and just explore it as an experience. So that's what we're going to do. So if you want to set yourself up for meditation, so as always, maybe noticing how you're feeling. That was quite might have been quite a strong little presentation I just gave. Might be stirring up all kinds of feelings. Just taking that in. If there's thoughts going on, seeing if we can resolve to put them down. We can always come back to them later. Thoughts about anything, just put them down. Just acknowledging they're just thoughts. We don't have to take them that seriously. Tuning into the body. There's a sense of pressure. Our body's weight on our seat, being supported by our seat, supported also by the ground, touch of our feet or our legs. Bringing attention into the feet and legs. Just getting a sense of some of the sensations there. Relaxing. Letting go in those thighs if they're a bit tight. The legs can rest right now. Bringing awareness into the buttocks. Just sitting, supporting us. The groin. The hips. The back. Letting the back be long, reaching up maybe into the heavens without forcing anything. Bringing awareness to the head and the face. Noticing how the face is right now. Not needing to name how it is. Just getting a sense of it and relaxing. Bringing awareness to the shoulders. Seeing if we can let go in the shoulders. And then the arms. Right the way down the arms into the hands. Being with, being in the hands. Experiencing whatever's going on there, or something of what's going on. Temperature, sensitivity, tingling. And coming into the gut. Noticing how the gut feels. Seeing if we can let go there. And then the chest. Noticing how the chest feels right now, especially in the heart center, the center of the chest. And through that, getting a sense of how you're feeling right now. Any sort of emotion, sense of your mood. Okay, not needing to analyze, just sort of tuning into it. Getting the flavour of it. having an overall sense of the body if we can, but particularly seeing if we can keep some awareness in the heart center, the center of the chest. And now I invite you to bring to mind this image, an image of your own choice that carries for you, that holds for you love, kindness, compassion, any of those qualities. It may be something you see before you or above you or all around you, whatever comes naturally. So you may have a clear image, it may be vague, that's fine. If it is clear, not getting into details. The point is more a sense of the presence of this loving being, presence, power. Move now into the first stage of the Metabovener. So in this stage, opening up to receiving the love of this presence. Just allowing ourselves to be loved. It doesn't matter who we are, any stories we might have of not deserving it do not matter. This presence is loving us anyway. And we may pick up on a sense of the love itself, not just feeling good, but the actual wish for our well-being. It's coming from somewhere, but it's present within us, within our experience. So just staying gently with our own experience, with the heart center, and with a sense of this presence, this loving presence, which we're receiving. And if we don't feel able to receive, we can trust that it is there anyway. And it goes beyond any limitations of our own imagination. So staying with the body and with the sense of loving presence, we bring to mind a friend, choosing them quickly, getting a sense of them, maybe with us or wherever they might be. Just simply connecting with the presence of our friend. And then the image of love either goes to them or goes through our heart and out to them. They are bathed in unconditional love. Bringing total well-being. Just notice how that feels. And this is both something that we are doing and something that we are not doing. But it's happening anyway. So just being with our friend who's being held in this love. So now in the third stage we bring to mind a neutral person, a familiar stranger. Just choosing someone quickly, bringing them to mind. Just having a sense of their presence. And now they too are receiving this unconditional love coming from, we cannot say where, from this loving presence. Maybe flowing through our own heart, or directly enveloping or shining on them, to which our own heart may respond. This human being who wishes to be well and happy is receiving wellness, receiving well-being, happiness. And if our mind wanders off, we come back to this neutral person, to how we're feeling, and to the loving presence, love extended to them without any condition. If there's confusion about what is going on, just keeping it very simple. There's this person, and there's this loving presence, and we can enjoy the fact that they're feeling well, they're feeling loved. In the fourth stage, staying with how we're actually feeling, we bring to mind someone with whom there's a difficulty, someone with whom there's been some problem or there's a discomfort for you. Bringing them to mind, noticing how that feels. And then this love coming from this presence, this image, this figure, envelops them too, flows into them, brings them well-being. They're another human being. They're wanting to be well. They're receiving well-being. And we can include ourselves in this too. If we're finding this difficult, love extends to both of us. Just staying with how we're feeling, with this other person with whom there's been difficulty, being loved anyway, and perhaps ourselves too, as we surely are. So moving into the last stage, bringing to mind all four people, including ourselves, all receiving unconditional love. No distinction made between us. And then this unconditional love radiates outwards further. Maybe it's being channeled through our own heart, or maybe our heart is resonating with it. This unconditional love includes everyone meditating together right now. May we all be well, totally well. And then it includes others, those around us, nearby, and others. Just imagining the radiance, the reach of this love extending, maybe bringing to mind particular people, or imagining strangers in their multitudes. There's no limit on this love. It comes from a place that sets no limits. Even if we're not able to fully experience it, even if the resonance is only slight, it's there. Wishing all beings well. Wishing life to flourish, wherever and whatever it is. And now letting go of our image, letting go of any effort. We just sit with whatever is happening, enjoying whatever's positive in our experience, not trying to do anything else. So, I always seem to say this, but no doubt it's been a huge range of different experiences in that meditation. We've got opportunity, as always, now for questions and comments. I'd be very curious about what that was like for you, whether you were able to have a sense of a loving presence and receiving that love or connecting with it, going out to others. Any questions, especially questions to do with your actual experience and using that approach in meditation.
I'm a real fan of green Tara, so I was very pleased that you brought her in. But I find it really, I often think of her active compassion and this sense of her having her hand at my back.
Is this the hand that's raised like this?
Yeah, of her sitting behind and just being a very sort of steadying presence that can hold anything, but also that can radiate out this kind of unconditional love that, yeah, we need to see her again. Thank you.
Yes, this hand on was this side, isn't it? Just a gesture of fearlessness. It's kind of confidence bestowing gesture.
Yeah, she's very reassuring presence in all situations. But I love that fearless aspect of loving as well, of being able to love fearlessly, however people are, of wanting to have that aspect of sending metta out. That's a really strong image, I find.
It is, isn't it? You're right. But often what people need, and include myself in this, is courage. Courage, obviously, to do what's positive. Even just simple encouragement. That's so valuable, isn't it? And what being related to in terms of what's best in ourselves. It's related quality. Yeah. Well, thanks, Liz, for sharing that. Yeah. Something I sort of mentioned earlier, but I'll just touch in on again is if we do the Metabovener in that kind of way, opening up to something beyond us, in a sense, in a very real sense, I think the metta is coming from beyond us. In a sense, it's beyond our ordinary mind. Our ordinary everyday mind is not capable of unconditional, boundless love. It's capable of love in a more everyday sense, absolutely, but without any restrictions. That's something beyond the everyday mind or consciousness. And it's not completely other either. It's kind of, this is on the edges, so sort of saying between self and other. We experience, if we connected with that meditation, we are experiencing something of that within our own consciousness, even though we were imagining it as coming from outside. So it's both within us and not, and a very mysterious thing.
Tor has said that they like the sense of preparation of metta before you start bringing in people, if that makes sense. And comments that it's lovely to see Tara, and also that the Buddha Rupa behind you has got the same mudra of fearlessness.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, the preparation of metta. Yeah. And of course, we do with the whole sort of body scan, don't we? Connecting with how we're feeling, connecting here. But if it's helpful, there's no reason why we can't start with an image of boundless, unconditional love from outside and then proceed with the rest of the practice in a different way. No reason why we can't do that.
And we've got a comment from S. Williams. I don't know what their shortened name is, but who says, "Thank you, that was lovely," and that they were thinking about the beautiful cherry blossom tree in the Cambridge Botanical Gardens.
Ah, yeah, the image from nature. Yeah, good. Yeah. Yes, something about our response to nature. It can carry something much more than, again, this is the ordinary everyday mind, a tree, as it were. No, there can be something much more going on. Go on, Liz.
Well, I was going to say, Vidyasaki was commenting on that, saying she thinks that blossom is a beautiful image for metta, of unfolding, impossibly fragile, but magnificently beautiful.
Beautifully put, Vidyasaki.
And Tor agrees, saying blossom is ace. I like that. Blossom is ace.
We can't hang on to it. Wonderful, beautiful. But yeah, we can't hang on to it.
I think sort of during the meditation, I got this sense of metta being sort of beyond, but also very, very intimate, very, very close. So it's kind of, it's not me exactly, but it's extremely close. So there's a sort of a paradox, isn't there? It's beyond me, but it's completely intimately sort of ingrained in my heart and my experience at the same time. That was the sense that I got while I was meditating.
Yeah, thanks, Vidyasaki. Yeah, it just does seem to be like that.
We've got some other comments. So Sanchia says, "Thank you, that was wonderful. I found it so helpful. I had an image of a lady of loving kindness with waterfall hair, and
wow.
The hair was like the love extending out to our hearts."
Oh, fantastic. Lovely. Thanks, Sanchia.
And Brenda says, "Bringing a sense of metta to mind before focusing on self and others is really helpful. My image is a sense of well-being and loving out there around me that seems to exist outside myself in nature and then envelops and becomes part of me."
Lovely. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got another one. So I wasn't sure whether you were going to say something.
No, I do go.
Carrie was saying, thank you. For me, imagery is more powerful than words in meta and helps me to go deeper and helps and feels to happen more naturally.
Yeah, we've got to find our own way with this, and that may change as well in terms of exactly what it is that's most helpful for us. But yeah. Great. Well, certainly plenty to go away and continue to explore with there, which is great. And perhaps some thought-provoking bits and pieces as well, which is another whole other thing. So last bit of our class, and I want to announce, you may have heard this before, we've got this coming spring rainy season retreat. So this is running over the long Easter weekend. Really want to encourage you to consider coming on that. Obviously, this is an online retreat. It will start this time next week, i.e. 7 o'clock. It will start in this same way, but then it will be moving on into Zoom. And we've got a programme of activities which will run through from the Thursday evening to the Monday lunchtime. And mostly on Zoom. And it's a fantastic opportunity to see what happens if you just clear aside as much as you can over the weekend, over the Easter weekend, keep things quiet and give more time to meditation. There'll be some talks by Jnana Archer, who's the president of our centre, so he's a visitor from elsewhere, but he's got a special responsibility, if you like, here. And he's going to be talking on consciousness. In fact, wouldn't it be surprised if he mentions that near-death experience documentary, because it was him I heard it from. So you might get some more on that. And there'll be a little bit of Buddhist ritual in the evening. But yeah, just a chance to see what happens if you make some space and give more time to meditation and other practices and activities that support it. So if you're interested in that, Liz, I think has probably already posted the link, the spring rainy season retreat link you'll need to book. It's without charge. Please do come if you're at all interested in spending the weekend in that way. And of course, whilst we like people to come to as much as possible, because that's the best way of getting a sense of being on retreat, if there are certain things that you can't make, that's okay. Last thing to say is, this class, like the retreat, is without charge, and that's really important. We want to simply give what we're doing. We don't want costs to be an impediment to anyone, and we don't want anyone to feel like they've got to give. And of course, we do need donations to keep what we're doing going. So if you're able to and want to help us, please do. Please do make a donation, especially if you can donate regularly, as I know many of you already are. Thank you very much for that. And thank you all for coming. And next week, Vidyasaki will be leading. It will be leading what will also be an introduction to the retreat, though I believe you're welcome to come either way. Yes, she's nodding. Yeah. So good night from me and from us.